Transparency International (PNG) expressed delight with how well the week's large and complex operations had proceeded. The Observers noted an interesting week of scrutiny on Bougainville during the referendum polling.
We've been looking at the processes of polling, but also talking to voters. We found polling officials to be helpful in assisting us in some of the things that we wanted to find out when we were doing our observation. And voters were also very forthcoming with answers. So for us as observers looking at the process, it's been very useful, and it's also been very helpful. So we thank those that assisted us when we were doing our observations.
Describing the atmosphere as an emotional one, yet festive and celebratory, to mark this historical moment that comes after 2 decades after a peace deal was signed to bring an end to the Bougainville conflict.
It was very celebratory, as you can imagine. So there are a lot of people who were, emotional about what was happening. There were a lot of communities that came together. They were looking at not just this as a process of democracy, but as a historic moment and occasion. And I think for us as an observer team, being able to observe this process happening with support from the European Union was really momentous as well, and very moving.
The observation teams also noted similar issues faced in the nation's capital of missing names on the referendum roll and how it was handled on ground by the polling officials, all of which will be presented in their report.
So this issue of names being not on the roll is something that you would remember from the 2017 national elections, and it's something that the Bougainville Referendum Commission, which was the body set up to run this referendum, had at its core, at its focus to try and resolve. So they had put out statements saying that I think they had something over 200,000 registered voters, which was a huge undertaking, I guess, on their part. But yes, there were also some concerns from the public. I'm not too sure about Port Moresby, but we were doing observation in Bougainville, so in North and Central there were issues around that, and we tried to get those views from the public for our observation.
TIPNG also acknowledged the support of the European Union for facilitating their work on the ground.
The observer teams were not just TIPNG volunteers, but they came from different institutions as well. So we extended an invitation to the Public Service Commission, the Integrity of Political Parties and Candidates Commission, and also the National Research Institute and UPNG. So volunteers from those organizations are part of the team as well. So I think it lends credibility to the report that will be coming out, hopefully by the end of January. If not, the soonest will be towards the beginning of February. So that will be when the formal report will be launched. But we've just concluded our observation as of Friday, and so we're looking now through our results and putting together initial findings.
Annette Cora, National MTV News.